Man, oh man, today was an incredible day for Carvana, must I tell you. Carvana is up already like over 40%. I believe it's up over even 50% or was up over 50% because it was, as you can see, up to about $23.42 at the high for the day. Right now, we're back down to $21. Now, I've been talking about this stock probably at least since December, and it was down to let's go ahead and look just so we don't even have to make anything up. Okay, December it was around $4, and I believe I got in around like the $7 mark. Probably in November, I have to double check. December, sometime around this time, I got in, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I know I have a video out there that says I never sold, but I did sell around about, and I'm pretty sure I told you guys about it as well. I sold around this mark, okay? This was around in May. Um, you know, what I was looking at was this peak right here, and I was looking at this peak right here. So I'm thinking, okay, we're probably not going to go crazy higher because I can see that this is kind of like a resistance point for us. And so I sold around this point with the hopes of getting in at a lower point, but you can see these lows kind of started going up higher, but we were consolidating around this area. So I was right about one thing, okay? It was staying around that area for a while until we had some good news. Now, if you don't know about the news, go read the news, come back to the video. But in a nutshell, what happened was exactly what I thought was going to happen. They started doing a bunch of stuff. They started acting very aggressively, and they made some changes, and they're expecting to have a more positive outlook on their business platform. However, that doesn't mean that they're going to be selling more cars or anything like that. It's changing about what they're doing. They've just made a lot of internal changes that should project that they should be in the positive. As far as what I got from it. If I'm wrong about that, go ahead and leave a comment down below. But from what I read, it's just a lot of fluff saying like, hey, we're actually going to be doing pretty good. Okay, so now everybody's buying in. But the thing is I feel like this is going to come down. And why do I say that? Well, it's not just me, trying to go against the curve or being upset because I sold at $12 or whatever the case is, because I believe in like the long run, this is going back up to where it was. That's just my personal belief, not financial advice. So the reason why I think that this is coming down, obviously, this is not sustainable in stocks. I mean, normally, this is not something that's sustainable in stocks. So you see something like that, that thing was just, I don't know, out of this world. So we can look at what happened back in January. Oh, I did record back in January when we had that first little pump, and I didn't sell up here because I don't know, I was just holding on for the long term, and that was that. So I didn't sell at that point. I sold when it came down a little bit more just because I felt like it was the right time. Now, obviously, clearly, I could have sold at around this point, but, you can't always time the market. Profit is profit, right? So that happened. However, why I feel like this is coming down is because we're just in these ranges right around here. If you go back and look at previous, there's not really much support in this area. Like there's support around like the 18 area. So we could come back to as low as the 17s area. But my goal is for us to come back down to the 12 area. I'm not thinking that we're going to come back down to the 10 or the 7s area again. However, it is possible. Anything is possible the way things have been going. However, I just don't believe that we're coming back down to this area, this 10-7 area. So my goal is to start averaging back in around the 12 area where I originally had sold. And I think that, things will be good. It'll probably stay around that area for a good little bit before we push back up. Now, of course, this depends on what the economy is doing and everything like that. Economy is not looking that great still, and we have the Fed meeting coming up next week. But if you also look at this RSI, you can also see that the RSI is at 78, which is way oversold. So that's another factor that can show you that it's going to come back down too. So you look at this previous RSI being above, you see that candlestick right there, and it came down. It's right underneath it. Came from oversold all the way down to this 30 mark. Okay, and so that's what I'm expecting. The same thing's going to happen to this one. Now it doesn't have to come down by much. You can see that this one was oversold when we hit just $13, and we came back down. Okay, we didn't come all the way back down, but we came back down to about $10 or so. And so that's why my goal is around this area, because if we just draw a horizontal line, let me just show you something. If we draw a horizontal line, this has touched this plenty of times. You know, this has been a key point. Let me zoom in. This has been a key point here. You can see there. This is a key point right for that candle, for this candle. And let's scroll back. You can see it's not exactly perfect, but if you look, this is a key area for these. This one closed at, this closed here. This one bottom out here. This one almost bottom out right there. And this one was very close to bottoming here. And this one was almost close to closing in this range. So this range is very key, okay? You can see that this one right here was where this was pretty much sitting on the support level right here. So that's why I believe that this would be our next support level to look forward to. And that's where I'm going to start buying back in at. Okay, so obviously previously when I sold around this point, I thought we were going to come back down to these periods, and obviously that's why I sold. But now, seeing where it's at now and hearing the positive news, I'm not sure that we would get to that point. It's possible, you know, it's possible. If you want to short this, be my guest. You can go ahead and do that. I'm sure a lot of people got wrecked, but I'm not shorting. I feel like in that aspect is a lot more on the more gambling side. I mean, I know some people know what they're doing, and you can call it whatever you want to, but me personally, that's too risky, way too risky. And I used to do it. I used to make money from it, but I just feel like it moves too fast, and it's more on the gambling side. Just buying and holding for a long term is, I feel like, not as risky. That's just my opinion on. Hey, you can do what you want with that information. However, you can see how the market is moving right now.